The society has been in being since 1961, November the 30th, 1961, and it is actually an integral part of the adult education class which has been running here since the 1960s, or earlier than that, even in the 1950s. It is actually formed out of the students of the class. It is an unusual society insofar that we do not have a committee. We do have some officers. I'm the chairman at the moment. We have a secretary. I was secretary for many years in the past. We have a treasurer because we do have a little bit of money. Apart from that, we have no officers, we have no committee, we have no general meeting. All we do is astronomy. Now, the way in which we do our astronomy is twofold, really. It is, as I said, an integral part of the course here. The course is run by visiting tutors. Every week we have a tutor, normally from the universities, who speak about their particular specialisation. But once a month we hold a society meeting. Now that society meeting is chaired by me, and we do our business, and then individuals then get up and talk to the assembled members about particular things which they've done, observations they have made, equipment they have made, and places they have visited.
The Crayford Astronomy Society I joined in 1973 because my mother was a member of the society before I was, and I knew all about the most of the guys who came here from her descriptions of what they were like, and they seemed a very strange bunch. But and it's a very mixed group. It's a very mixed group of people of all trades, professions and crafts and interests, and they're really very irreverent about each other and so forth. There are no punches pulled in this place. You say what you think, and that's refreshing. It's more like a student environment you get in a uni or a whatever. It's not a club.
Yeah, well, over the years we managed to acquire books for some reason or other. Sometimes we get them because we review them for magazines, so we get them there. So these are all in alphabetical order, of course, and they go through here. And people are allowed to borrow them as they wish. But another part of the library are the journals. We subscribe to something like, I think, 6 or 7 or 8 journals. This is the coach house, or part of it, and you see we can use this room for storing some of our archival material. Of particular importance are all these boxes of photographs, some in glass and some in film. The glass ones were exposed in the United Kingdom, and essentially what they do, or what they were used for, was to measure the position of satellites in relation to the stars. So what we then decided, and this was done entirely by the members of the astronomy class, it was funded by the centre, but all the work was done and all the design was done by us. It was decided that instead of having a sliding roof, we would slide the roof permanently over the extension, fill in the extension and make it into a room, and then we would then build a dome to place in place of the sliding roof. This took about a year, but it was finally succeeded. Meanwhile, the 24-inch telescope was in situ, covered by plastic in order to protect it. Anyway, here's the telescope, so let's go and have a look at it. It's all locked up. I've got 2 bunches of keys. Easy. and the telescope itself is on piers underneath to the bedrock, and there's a gap between the telescope and the floor. Now the telescope, I always have to remind myself about dates. The telescope was actually installed in 1977. So what, that makes that 34 years ago. And so it's now quite old fashioned. It works alright, there's nothing wrong with it. Because it's such a large telescope, it is what is known as folded, insofar that you've got to have a certain focal length. The shorter the focal length, the more difficult it is to build the telescope. The Society has been in being since 1961, November the 30th, 1961. So we are now approaching our golden anniversary, and we will hold a celebration for that. Well, we hope that the future will be exactly the same as the past, because we do depend on the fact that this remains an adult education centre.